Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take the sources and questions you send us and really dig in to pull out the key insights.
That's right. And today, we've got something pretty unique. It's material about the creation of a totally new language.
Yeah, it's called Alien Gloss V2.6. Fascinating stuff. Someone shared these excerpts detailing how it's actually being built.
Exactly. We're looking at pasted text notes, really, documenting the development process. It's not often you get this kind of behind-the-scenes look.
So our mission for you listening is to unpack this. We want to give you a clear picture of how Alien Gloss is taking shape, maybe point out some surprising things about language creation.
And hopefully spark some of those aha moments, without getting bogged down in too much jargon. We're aiming for that sweet spot.
We'll guide you through it. The material really does give a granular view, doesn't it? Step-by-step decisions, the why behind certain features.
It really does. How they're tackling things like functionality, clarity, it's all in there.
Okay, let's dive in. One of the first things in the sources is an example translation. Fish live in the river. Pretty standard sentence.
Right. But in Alien Gloss, it becomes Fiocha vivas riverole.
Which definitely looks, well, different.
It does, and it immediately shows you how structured this language is aiming to be. Every little piece means something specific.
Okay, break that down for us, future.
So fio is the root for fish.
Right.
The geje makes it plural, fishes. And the fika, that's an agent marker. It tells you the fish are the ones doing the action.
Ah, okay. So fish plural agent.
Got it.
This is that agglutinative thing, right? Sticking bits of meaning together in one word.
Exactly. Which is quite different from English, where we rely more on word order or extra words like the.
So the fish are the agents doing the living. Then vivas. That seems more straightforward.
Yeah, vivas is simply live present tense. Vive is the root for live, as marks the present.
Okay. And the last part, rivero.
Rivero is river, and viwa is a locative case suffix. It means in the location of, so in the river.
Wow. So you don't need a separate word like in. The inly does that job.
Precisely. These functional morphemes, these little endings like ojk and oze, they carry the grammatical weight that prepositions or word order might handle in English.
The grammar's baked right in. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so that gives us a first taste. What's the next step they documented in building Alien Gloss?
Well, after setting up some basics, the sources show the next logical step proposed was expanding the vocabulary, specifically adding basic adjectives to two.
Makes sense. You need describing words.
Yeah.
And they listed which ones.
Yes, the suggestion was for happy, sad, fast, and slow, really core concepts.
Absolutely. Adding those would significantly enrich the language, wouldn't it? Let you express more nuance.
Definitely. Think how much more you can convey with just those four. It moves beyond just facts into feelings and qualities.
Right. So after suggesting those adjectives, it looks like there was a review, taking stock of the vocabulary they already had.
Yes, exactly. The source mentions compiling a comprehensive consolidated list, covered both the functional morphemes, those grammatical bits we just talked about, and the lexical roots, the actual content words.
And it sounds like this wasn't just a quick list.
No, the text really emphasizes how systematically it was organized. Detailed descriptions for what each morpheme does. That kind of planning is pretty vital if you want to build a consistent language. Avoid painting yourself into a corner later on.
Okay, so they have this detailed inventory. Where did they decide to go next with expansion?
The choice was to build out vocabulary for places and locations.
Ah, that seems fundamental.
Yeah, the reasoning was pretty solid. You need basic words for environments, for settings, just to talk about where things happen.
Makes total sense. And it wasn't just random words for places, I gather. There was a system again.
Oh, absolutely. A clear system. They proposed deriving these place nouns from existing roots using consistent suffixes. It's very neat.
Give us an example.
Okay, take the root herb, which means city. They derive urbo, that's the noun, city, pronounced ur.ubermewo.
Right.
Then urbica, urbek, that's the adjective, like urban or city related.
Gotcha. And the place itself.
Orbeho, orbiijo, meaning urban area, the place associated with the city. See the pattern. Ober for the noun, a for the adjective, iho for the place.
That's really elegant. And they applied this same logic to other basic places.
Yep, same deal for land, country land. Lando, landeca, landejo. For monton, montela, montejo.
Okay.
For river, rivereda, and river rojo. Though interestingly, the source puts a little question mark next to river rojo.
Why?
It seems they were questioning if that oho ending perfectly captured place of the river. It shows that little bit of refinement, questioning things as they go.
Yeah, language creation isn't perfectly smooth.
Hmm.
Good point. What else?
Voji roadway gives Voho Vojeka Voshohor like a specific route area, and Mareka Memoro a coastal area.
The consistency is striking. That o-a-k-iho pattern seems like it would make learning much easier. You can predict word functions.
That's a huge goal in many constructed languages, or conlangs. Regularity, predictability cuts down on ambiguity and, frankly, the memorization load.
Okay, so lots of vocabulary building.
Yeah.
But they were also tweaking things they already had, right? Something about adverbs.
Yes, exactly. Refining usage. They looked at test sentences using ner only, jam already, and ankorashi, which is pronounced azum or dot raw, meaning still or yet.
And what came out of those tests?
An interesting refinement regarding prepositions and those case suffixes we talked about.
Ah, how they interact.
Yeah. Some early sentences seem to have redundant prepositions, like the child already plays in the garden was first drafted as la nafana kan ludas on la nardino.
Okay.
But wait, that lola suffix on nardino already means in the garden, the location, so the word en wasn't needed.
It's saying the same thing twice.
Exactly. So they refined it to la nafana kayam ludas la nardavo, just using the case suffix, more efficient.
Makes sense. Streamlining the grammar.
And this process, testing and refining, led to formally adopting ner, jam, and anchorage into Alien Gloss v2.6.
And they didn't stop there with adverbs, did they? Seems like they added a bunch more common ones.
No, they kept going, brought in a set of really frequent adverbs.
Yeah.
Baldire, bal, soon, tutuj,
Yes.
immediately.
Quick action words.
Right. And say some dot pre, always. Am, sometime or ever, like in questions. Niniam net, nane not, and I am, never.
The opposite of the am.
Correct. You can see the derivation there. Net for not plus am. It's building logically. Then also optochefe, often, and malofte mel.cf.t, seldom.
And Maloft uses that mal prefix for opposites, like we saw earlier.
Exactly. Mel plus ofte. Very consistent.
And the sources gave examples for these two.
Yep. Showing how they modify verbs or whole clauses, like la busoka baladej alvenos. The bus agent soon arrive will, or the bus will soon arrive.
And I see a note there, busel for bus needed to be added. It shows how adding grammar prompts new vocabulary needs.
It's all interconnected. You can't really separate grammar and vocabulary development entirely. Another example. Venu ituj, which is come imperative immediately.
Okay.
Or la sunoka sempre brillas. The sun agent always shine present.
The sun always shines. Nice.
And there's a note that sempre was adapted from Romance languages, possibly tweaked to fit the sound system, the phonology of alien gloss better.
So many considerations. Sound, meaning, grammar.
Yeah.
It's complex.
Definitely. We also saw iam in an example question. Iam vid is tinte, which is like interrogative particle, you patient ever see past that object, or did you ever see that?
And nenium for never. Mecaninium forgis ostiope. My agent never forget will that object. Though it notes for Jay-Z, forget needs to be added.
More vocabulary needs popping up, and ofte, nia ofte visit as la percope. We patient often visit, present the park object, needing visiti, visit, and parco.
Park. So a really productive phase for adverbs, and beyond just adding words, they also formally confirmed some grammar rules.
Yes, solidified a few key principles. One was confirming that rule we just saw in action. Case suffixes generally replace common prepositions. Makes